to Ajay that this story is based on a true incident that happened with a pizza delivery boy. This incident happened with John when he was working a part-time job at a small pizza shop during his college days. One night, around 1 o'clock, when John was about to finish his shift and leave for home, suddenly the pizza shop's phone rang. John picked up the phone. Some man was giving an order in a very low voice. At first, John thought of refusing to take the order because the pizza shop's closing time had already passed. But when that man ordered 4 plant science pizzas, John took the order because often on big orders, a good hefty TRP was received, and John needed money too. That John quickly set out to deliver the pizza. The delivery address was quite far from the pizza shop, in the city's Ayukt Smita. It had gotten quite late at night, and the road was very deserted. The road was unpaved, and on both sides there were lots of wild trees and plants. There wasn't even any streetlight working on the way, because of which it was completely dark. That after some more driving, John reached that address. He was standing in front of a very old-looking, strange house. Today afternoon, it was inside a forest area, and not a single light in that house was on. In fact, there was no movement around. Courage. It felt exactly like that house had been abandoned for years, and no one lived in that house. John was feeling a bit scared looking at that house. So, he called his manager. He wanted to explain the situation to his manager and go back from there. But his manager didn't pick up the phone. That if John took all 4 pizzas back without telling the manager, his manager would get very angry with him, and his salary would also be cut. So, when even after calling repeatedly, his manager didn't pick up the phone, he made up his mind to go near that house and try Delhi, varying once. That as soon as John moved forward, one light inside the house turned on. That John got a little confidence that maybe someone is inside. He rang the doorbell and loudly said, "Pizza delivery." But for some time no one opened the door. That John rang the bell again. So he heard the sound of someone's footsteps from inside, but again no one opened the door. That John was about to go back when suddenly a sound came from there, and the door opened on its own. John, a bit scared, went inside. A dim light was burning in the hall, and there was no one there. That John called out, "Hello, hello, is anyone there? Please take your pizza." Just then, John saw that from under the sofa in the hall, a cat came out and ran toward a room. That as soon as that cat entered that room, the room's light and TV turned on, along with the sound of small children being naughty and laughing. John felt that maybe someone was playing some kind of joke with him. He went inside that room angrily. That there, 2 small girls were sitting. Both of them were sitting on a tree there, staring at John in a strange way. That John started saying to them that he had been ringing the doorbell for so long, and they were not opening the door. That John was getting angry, but both of them were still sitting there, without saying anything, just staring at John. That John said again, "I have come to deliver the pizza, and is there any elder in your house from whom I can take the payment?" Music. Suddenly, the color of those girls' eyes turned white, and their silence turned into a dangerous laugh. Both of them pointed toward the door of that room. That behind John, by then, John turned around, so he got scared. That all 4 pizza boxes fell from his hands, because right in front of him was a terrifying figure. That seeing all this, John started trembling with fear. He somehow ran toward his bike and got out of there. So, that woman's shadow and those 2 girls were standing at the door of that house, watching him go. That John had gone only a little distance when he felt that his bike was breaking down. Suddenly, the sound of the bike's engine started coming, and the bike stopped completely. That had happened, John got out, and he saw that his bike's tire was punctured. That out of fear, he called the police and asked for help as soon as possible. That John started looking around, and suddenly his eyes fell on the bike's rear view mirror, seeing which the ground slipped from under his feet. And behind brother, that woman's shadow and those two girls were standing. All three of them were slowly coming toward John. During this, every big one, John left the bike there and started running toward the jungle. While running, he got very tired and hid behind a big tree. He started praying for his life. That after some time, he heard the sound of a police siren from a distance. And with his remaining courage, he started running back toward his bike. When he reached his bike, he saw that the police were investigating his bike, that he told the police everything, and took the M to that house, that the police went inside that house and investigated. But apart from a wildcat, they didn't find anyone in that house. That the next morning, John found out that that house had been empty for the last 2-3 years. And what's more, 3 years ago, a woman and her 2 small daughters used to live in that house, who were suddenly murdered one day. Knowing this, John was shocked. He understood that the people he saw that day were the souls of that woman and her small daughters. Mina. So maybe they are still trapped in that house. But he never understood who it was. Who did it after all? That after this incident, John quit the pizza delivery job. But whenever he remembers that incident, he trembles badly.